For several decades, Japan stood as a giant in the automotive industry. Dominant brands like Nissan, Honda, and Toyota became symbols of unmatched technological excellence and quality, dominating roads from Asia to America. However, as is often the case, nothing lasts forever. The passage of time has shattered Japan's dominance, shaken by the rapid rise of China, which quickly seized the throne as the new ruler in the global automotive industry. Before discussing the fall of Japan's dominance, it is worth talking about how the country achieved its glory. After World War II, Japan was in a state of tragic destruction but managed to rise from the ashes with an unparalleled spirit of innovation to revive its devastated economy. Under Prime Minister Shigeru Yoshida, the Japanese government implemented policies known as the Yoshida Doctrine. This policy emphasized economic development with a focus on industry and trade, while military affairs were left to the United States. Additionally, the Japanese government established the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, which played a role in designing and implementing industrial policies, including providing incentives for the automotive sector. In its dire condition, Japan realized that it needed to quickly build a quality workforce. Therefore, Japan made massive investments in the education sector, particularly in science and technology. As a result, Japan developed a skilled workforce capable of driving innovation in the industry. In the 1960s and 1970s, Japanese car manufacturers successfully introduced fuel-efficient vehicles that quickly met the global consumer demand for affordable mobility. Companies like Toyota, founded in the 1930s and initially projected to produce trucks, became key players in this transformation. The military needs quickly shifted focus to passenger car production. In the 1950s, Toyota introduced a production system known as the Toyota Production System, which emphasized waste reduction and quality improvement. This resurgence was then met by the oil crisis in 1973, which quickly became a pivotal moment for Japan, as their fuel-efficient cars became highly sought after in the international market. By the 1980s, Japan had firmly established itself as the world's largest car manufacturer, surpassing the United States in terms of production volume and exports. Entering the 1990s and 2000s, Japan introduced advanced technologies such as the hybrid engine through the Toyota Prius, the first mass-produced hybrid vehicle. Subsequently, Japanese manufacturers like Honda, Mazda, and Suzuki expanded their markets to Europe and developing countries in Asia. Japan quickly dominated the car market in Asia, with a market share exceeding 80% in countries like Indonesia, Thailand, and the Philippines. Meanwhile, Japan supplied more than 30% of new cars in the United States, with Toyota, Honda, and Nissan as the three major players. Japanese cars became renowned for their durability, low maintenance costs, and high resale value. Models like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord were bestsellers in the United States for years, while in Southeast Asia, brands like the Toyota Avanza and Honda CR-V led the market. Japan's peak of glory became even more unstoppable when, in 2022, Japan produced over 9 million vehicles, making it one of the top 3 largest producers in the world. Japan exported around 3 million vehicles in 2022, with the main destinations being the US, Europe, and Asia. Southeast Asia, and as a dominant player in the global automotive industry, Japan's automotive sector contributed more than 18% of Japan's total exports, valued at over $100 billion annually. Up until that point, Japan's position as a dominant player in the automotive industry seemed unassailable by any other producer in the world. Japan had proven the superiority of its products and had built a highly established ecosystem, making it appear nearly impossible to topple this dominance without a brilliant system and strategy. However, behind Japan's glory, China was quietly preparing a grand strategy to seize this dominance. With full government support, China's automotive industry underwent a radical transformation. In the 1980s, when Japan had become the world's largest car manufacturer, surpassing the United States, China's automotive industry was still in its infancy, with limited production and lagging technology. Nevertheless, with a relentless spirit of progress, China continued to open up to foreign investment and enhance its resources. With substantial foreign investment, China experienced rapid economic growth entering the 2000s, increasing the purchasing power of its population and the demand for motor vehicles. In 2009, China surpassed the United States as the world's largest car market, with sales reaching 13.6 million passenger vehicles. Entering the 2010s, China faced issues of air pollution and dependence on imported oil or energy. China viewed these two issues as future threats. Therefore, Chinese car manufacturers made massive investments in research and development. The Chinese government shifted its focus to the development of new energy vehicles, including electric cars. They were highly committed to the development of these new energy vehicles. This is evidenced by various incentives and subsidies provided by the government to encourage the production and adoption of new energy. As a result, China has become the world's largest electric car market, with sales reaching 331,000 units. It didn't take long for China to capture market attention. Lower labor and raw material costs, combined with very large production capacities, allowed China to reduce production costs lower than Japan. This enabled Chinese car manufacturers to produce vehicles more economically, which translated into more competitive selling prices. Chinese car manufacturers tend to set lower profit margins to attract a larger market share, whereas Japanese car manufacturers set higher prices to maintain their brand image and product quality. For example, in the SUV segment, the Toyota Yaris Cross, a Japanese brand, is priced starting at 351 million IDR, while the Chery Moto 5, a Chinese brand, is offered starting at 134 million IDR. This price difference reflects the different pricing strategies between Japanese and Chinese car manufacturers. Manufacturers like BYD and Geely leverage economies of scale to offer high-quality vehicles at much more affordable prices compared to Japanese cars. However, don't be mistaken, although Chinese electric cars are sold at much lower prices, their products are not subpar. In the past, Chinese cars were often considered lacking in design and quality, but now they have collaborated with international designers and improved their production standards, resulting in cars with aesthetics and quality comparable to or even surpassing Japanese cars. Chinese manufacturers have made significant investments in research and development. And their vehicle features. China has also succeeded in leading the development of battery technology, including more efficient and durable lithium-ion batteries. China has adopted advanced technologies such as modern infotainment systems, safety features, and energy-saving innovations that appeal to global consumers. Ultimately, China is not only able to offer electric cars with longer ranges and shorter charging times compared to some Japanese competitors but also provides more advanced and modern features than Japanese cars. Of course, China is not just focusing on the domestic market. With superior products, China is aggressively penetrating markets in Europe, Southeast Asia, and even America. International agreements like the Paris Agreement encourage several countries to reduce carbon emissions, and the shift to electric cars has become one of their main strategies to achieve these targets. The European Union has set a target to stop the sale of internal combustion engine cars by 2035 as part of their commitment to the Paris Agreement. This clearly presents a golden opportunity for China and a significant challenge for Japan. Japanese car manufacturers, previously comfortable with their dominance, were slow to recognize the threat from China. Their prolonged focus on hybrid technology left them behind in the race for pure electric vehicles. Although they are now starting to invest in EV technology, the moment of glory has already shifted towards China. In 2023, China managed to export 4.91 million vehicles, surpassing Japan, which only exported 442,000 units too. BYD reported breaking its latest sales record throughout 2023, with cumulative sales reaching 3,244,417 units, an increase of 61.9% compared to the previous year. Interestingly, Chinese car manufacturers like BYD have started entering the Japanese market.